I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life. I root for this motherfucker, okay? And now, I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped.
You know the kind of celebrity story that would keep you glued to your screen until your eyes ache? The kind that keeps you scrolling, blinking, and whispering, "Wait, what?" Well, buckle up, because this one is about two of Hollywood's finest, the legendary Will Smith and the ever-hilarious Chris Rock. Something happened between these two friends that created a dispute between them and got everyone talking. So, what really went down between these people? What did Chris completely expose about Will that got people really surprised? Let's dive right into the story that shook the internet and the friendship behind it. The Oscar-related drama between Chris and Will. At the 94th Academy Awards on the 27th of March, 2022, a very funny moment occurred when Will Smith walked up to the stage and delivered a surprising slap to a comedian named Chris Rock. This unexpected incident happened during Chris's presentation for the Best Documentary feature, which was triggered by a harmless joke he made about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, which is a result of alopecia, also known as hair loss. Well, he may have gone a little extreme on that joke. After the slap, Will went back to his seat and unleashed a couple of demeaning remarks at Chris, who had to talk about the situation before continuing with his presentation. The drama didn't hinder Will from taking home the Oscar for Best Actor for his performance in King Richard. In his acceptance speech, he apologized to the Academy and fellow nominees, but conveniently left Chris out of his apologies. When Chris Rock went on the stage to announce the nominees for Best Documentary Feature, he started with a lively monologue, largely guided by a teleprompter. He shared a light-hearted joke about the glamorous couple, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, both of whom had previously won Oscars for themselves and were up for nominations that night. As he excitedly continued, he made a cheap comment about Will's wife's shaved head, comparing her look to Demi Moore's in the 1997 movie titled G.I. Jane. With a grin, he said, "Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2. Can't wait to see it." Almost everyone, including Will, chuckled at the joke initially, but Jada didn't find it funny, rolling her eyes in obvious annoyance. Chris, who just kept enjoying himself, was getting prepared to move on with his presentation when he suddenly spotted Will coming toward him. As he approached, Chris tried to continue the joke, but just as he was trying to keep the mood, Will slapped his face and went back to his seat. What followed was a weird silence from the audience, as they were not sure if they had just witnessed another kind of joke or an actual confrontation. Chris, who was momentarily flabbergasted, regained his composure as quickly as possible, only to be met with Will's angry shouts from the audience, which again sparked gasps and a few chuckles from the audience, still waiting for the next thing to happen. Chris then responded, "Wow, dude!" It was a G.I. Jane joke, as he tried to lighten the serious atmosphere. But Will would not have anything he had to say, as he kept repeating the warning to take his wife's name off his mouth. Chris professionally lightened the mood for the audience, and the night continued, although the incident still lingered throughout the night. As the stunned audience tried to process what had just happened, they anticipated a kind of official acknowledgement from the stage. People in the mezzanine stood up, peering over the balcony to catch a glimpse of the unfolding drama below. Yet, the show carried on as if nothing had happened, continuing without a host. Meanwhile, Will's outbursts were muted during the broadcast in many countries, leaving viewers in the dark about the depth of his words. It was a night that no one would soon forget, with tension lingering in the air even long after the incident. We have explored the Oscar slap and what really happened, but the drama just started. There is still more to talk about, but we need to get to know Will and how he slowly found his way into fame. Hang on as we explore that quickly. About Will Smith's life and achievements. Will Smith, originally named Willard Carroll Smith Jr., came into the world on the 25th of September, 1968, in Philadelphia. He grew up in an active West Philadelphia neighborhood, a culture where Orthodox Jews mingled with a small group of the Muslim community. His mother, Caroline, worked for the school board, while his father, Willard C. Smith, had a refrigeration business. The Smith family publicly practiced the Baptist faith, which added an interesting layer to their rich community life. Will had a strong middle-class upbringing and attended the incredible Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic School before he moved on to Overbrook High School, which boasted famous alumni like NBA icon Wilt Chamberlain and astronaut Guion Bluford. His teachers and mates knew him for his charm and quick wit, so he easily became a good student who used his charisma to navigate tricky situations, earning him the nickname Prince. From an early age, he could charm his way out of trouble, and this became a defining trait during his formative years. Will began his rapping journey at just 12 years young, getting his inspiration from legends like Grandmaster Flash. However, he added his own uniqueness by infusing humor into his rhymes, a style that would later define his music career. At 16, he met Jeff Towns at a party, and their friendship quickly evolved to be a creative partnership. Together, they created the dynamic duo named DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, distinguishing themselves from the gangsta rap trend that was gaining traction on the West Coast, with artists like NWA. Instead, Will decided to focus on relatable teenage themes, delivering his lyrics in a clean, family-friendly manner that resonated with Middle America. Their first single, titled Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, dropped in 1986 and became an instant hit. When their debut album, Rock the House, was released in 1987, it landed on the Billboard 200, and this made Will a millionaire before he even turned 18. As expected, this early success took his focus away from college and propelled him into the spotlight instead. Initially, there were rumors that Will had turned down a scholarship request to the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, but he later clarified, saying, "My mother, who worked for the school board of Philadelphia, had a friend who was the admissions officer at MIT. I had pretty high SAT scores, and they needed black kids, so I probably could have gotten in, but I had no intention of going to college." In 1988, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince continued their excellence with the album titled He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper, which included some incredible tracks like Brand New Funk and Nightmare on My Street. Their special hit, Parents Just Don't Understand, made history by winning the first ever Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance in 1989. In that same year, they released the Grammy-nominated album titled And in This Corner. As he decided to venture into acting, he and his buddy still kept the music coming. Their 1991 album titled Home Base featured popular tracks like Ring My Bell and Summertime, and the latter earned a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a duo the next year. Their last collaboration, the 1993 album titled Code Red, included the energetic hit Boom, Shake the Room, which proved their legacy as one of hip-hop's most iconic duos. After taking a long break from his Fresh Prince persona, Will continued to create space for himself in the music world as a solo artist. He hit the music industry by releasing 4 solo albums, starting with Big Willie Style in 1997, which earned him 2 consecutive Grammys for Best Rap Solo Performance. The first of these awards recognized the catchy Men in Black theme song that he performed and co-wrote. The following year, another hit titled Gettin' Jiggy Wit. It also gave him a Grammy after dominating the Billboard Hot 100 chart for 3 weeks. In 1999, he released Willennium, which included another movie tie-in, the title track for Wild Wild West, a movie he also starred in. His third album, titled Born to Reign, came out in 2002, followed by Lost and Found in 2005, which featured the single Switch. This track made him return to the top 10 after a 6-year break. After those hits, he took another 2-decade break from music, and he made a massive comeback with his 5th studio album titled Based on a True Story, released on the 28th of March, 2025, and it reignited his passion for storytelling through music. In the early 1990s, Will started making his mark in the acting world when he took a break from rapping. Drawing from his experiences of rising fame, the National Broadcasting Company brought him to star in a sitcom about a street-smart kid from Philadelphia who moves in with his wealthy relatives in the upscale neighborhood of Bel Air. Embracing his rapper persona made it easier for him, as The Fresh Prince of Bel Air became a very strong hit, running for 6 seasons from 1990 to 1996. He did not only star in the show, earning 2 Golden Globe nominations for Best Actor in a Comedy in both 1993 and 1994, but he also wrote and performed its beautiful theme song alongside his friend and collaborator, Jeff. While still performing his role on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, he decided to go into actual films. He took on small parts in the drama Where the Day Takes You in 1992 and the comedy Made in America in 1993. But it was his leading role in 6 Degrees of Separation that really showcased his incredible potential. His journey to superstardom truly kicked off with the film Bad Boys, released in 1995, which paired him with a well-known comedian named Martin Lawrence. Breaking away from the traditional black cop, white cop dynamic that had dominated hits like Beverly Hills Cop and the Lethal Weapon series, the duo reunited again for Bad Boys 2 in 2003. While the sequel faced not-so-good reviews from critics, it still found commercial success, raking in over $273 million worldwide and securing its place as the 10th highest-grossing film of the year. After almost 2 decades, Will and Martin expanded the franchise further with Bad Boys for Life, released in 2020, and Bad Boys: Ride or Die, released in 2024. After the exciting success of Bad Boys, Will took another huge leap into the epic sci-fi realm with Independence Day, a role that made him become the heavyweight champion of Hollywood. Then came the ultimate banger of the 20th century, the 2001 biopic titled Ali, which is centered on the legendary boxer Muhammad Ali, made a really significant comeback for Will on the big screen. In this role, he delivered what many considered the performance of his career, as he committed himself to deep trainings and discipline to authentically embody the athleticism and larger-than-life personality of Ali. Although the film had a record-breaking opening day, it ultimately fell short at the box office. His portrayal in the film earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in 2002, as well as a Golden Globe recognition in a similar category. Decades later, in 2021, Will took the role of Richard Williams, the father and coach of the tennis legends named Venus and Serena Williams, in the biographical sports drama King Richard. This powerful performance made him win his first Academy Award for Best Actor in 2022. Later in that same year, he took on another powerful role in the historical drama titled Emancipation, which tells the story of a man escaping from slavery. This movie not only showcased his incredible acting skills, but also reignited his passion for music, inspiring him to return to his roots in rap. As of February 2025, Will's financial standing is highly impressive, with an estimated net worth of $350 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. He typically commands between $20 and $60 million per film, but he made headlines with a staggering $100 million payday for Men in Black 3. This remarkable success underscores his enduring presence in Hollywood, both as an actor and as a musician. Will is now a successful actor and musician, someone that many people look up to and admire. But how about Chris? Was there an actual relationship between the two of them? let's look into the relationship between them before the incident. Their relationship before the incident. Chris and Will were friends and colleagues for a while. Chris had the opportunity to work alongside Will Smith on the series titled The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he played two roles, the popular actor Maurice Perry and his sister Jasmine. His guest appearance came in the second episode of the 6th season, titled Get a Job, which aired on the 25th of September, 1995. The two actors reunited again in 1991 for Spike Jonze's mockumentary titled Torrance Rises, a short film that followed the Torrance Community Dance Group on the incredible journey to the MTV Video Music Awards. Both Chris and Will played themselves, sharing the screen with other big names like Sofia Coppola and Madonna. Before this collaboration, people found them at the 1997 MTV Video Music Awards, where they were laughing in the audience, which showed how fond of each other they were. Their friendship continued at the Kids' Choice Awards in 2005, where Chris presented Will with the coveted blimp after he won the Favorite Voice from an animated movie for his role as Oscar in Shark Tale. It was a light-hearted moment that highlighted their relationship. In 2010, they reunited again at an event, posing for a memorable photo backstage with Will's son, who became a superstar, Jaden. This encounter was yet another chapter in their long-standing friendship and professional collaboration. Beyond their work together, they have also shared the screen, lending their voices to characters in the 2005 animated film titled Madagascar, along with its sequels in subsequent years. During his time hosting the 2016 Oscars, Chris talked about Will's wife's decision to skip the ceremony, saying, "Jada said she's not coming. Protest." I was like, isn't she on a TV show? Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. He also made a lighthearted punch at Will, who somehow was not nominated that year, saying, "It's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated." You're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay? This playful banter showcased Chris's natural talent for humor, even as he navigated the sensitive topic of Jada's protest. From here, Will may have started nursing a kind of opposition towards Chris. What Chris had to say about the incident. After a while, Chris finally found a platform to open up about the infamous slap he received from his former friend, Will, during the Oscars, nearly a year after the incident that stunned viewers around the world. In his words, everybody knows. Yes, it happened. I got slapped a year ago. I got smacked by him. And people are like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I've got summertime ringing in my ears. A few days after the Oscars, while he was performing in Boston, Chris shared, "I'm still kind of processing what happened. So at some point, I'll talk about that shit. And it will be serious and funny." He had been touring the world since then, like it didn't matter to him. But this was the first time he really talked about the incident, making it funny but reflective. In his new show, Chris did not stop making a lot of remarks about people who seek attention by portraying themselves as victims, saying, "I am not a victim. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. Never going to happen. I took that hit like boxer Manny Pacquiao. I took it like motherfucking Pacquiao. Did it hurt? Yeah, it hurt." He also dismissed the rumor that he and Will Smith were engaged in a fight or any form of argument, saying, "First of all, I know you can't tell on camera, but Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. We are not the same size. Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You ain't never seen me do a movie with my shirt off. I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, and I've got on a sweater." He also said that the slap had inspired the name of his show, as it integrated the incident into his comedy in a way that connected with his audience. Will Smith practices selective outrage. Everybody knows what the fuck happened, and everyone really knows I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't have any entanglements, he stated, with reference to Jada's public admission about her affair with a rapper named August Alsina, while still married to Will. Pinkett Smith talked about this on her online show, Red Table Talk. His wife was messing around with his son's friend, okay? I normally wouldn't talk about this, but for some reason, they put it on the internet. I have no idea why two talented people would do something so low down. He continued, everybody in here has been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us. On television, she hurt him way more than he hurt me. Chris added that at that time, he tried to reach out to Will to offer his condolences, but he didn't pick up. He also expressed his undying love for Will and how he still admires him regardless. I loved Will Smith. My whole life, I loved him. I saw him open for Run DMC. He has made some great movies. I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life. And now I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped. When he was asked the reason he chose to keep quiet instead of retaliating, he explained that he chose not to do anything because I got parents, because I was raised. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people. With that, he dramatically threw his microphone to the ground, which marked the end of his show. As for Chris, ever since the incident, he has addressed the slap multiple times. The day after it occurred, he publicly apologized to Chris on Instagram, stating, "I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." Some months later, he said that he had tried to reach out to Chris, but he was not ready to talk. Chris seemed not to have an issue with Will, but his actions say otherwise. But sources say this is not the only controversy Will had been through. Typical of a lot of actors. Let's dive into other kinds of conspiracies Will has his name tied to. Other controversies tied to Will's name. Will had a track record of being one of the most successful actors and musicians, but his personal life is more popular than his professional achievements, making him a case study countless times in headlines. No matter how hard he tries to maintain a perfect image publicly, controversies seem to keep following him. Over the years, Will and Jada have been at the center of several scandals. The couple got married in 1997 after his divorce from Sheree Zampino. He has 3 children, Trey, Jaden, and Willow. One of those years, a juicy controversy came up when Jada revealed during promotions for her memoir titled Worthy that she and Will have been secretly separated since 2016. In an interview with NBC's Hoda Kotb, she talked about their separation as related to a divorce, but without the official court papers. This revelation added another layer to their already complex narrative from their fans. Another important moment happened when Jaden, Will's special son, shared during an interview with Entertainment Tonight that his mother had introduced the family to psychedelics. He explained, "It was just her for a really, really long time, and then eventually, it just trickled and evolved, and everybody found it in their own ways." Jada later discussed her experience with plant medicine on an episode of Red Table Talk in 2021, stating that it helps with her depression. The thing about the plant medicine is it helps you feel better, but also solves the problems of how you got there in the first place. This revelation only added another layer to their already complicated narrative from the family. To add to the whole complexities, August Alsina shocked the world when he revealed that he had an affair with Jada and claimed that Will had given his consent and blessing. Who on earth will approve of someone having an affair with his wife? Anyway, another complicated part of this story is the fact that the singer met Jada in 2015 through her son, and their relationship grew close. Jada addressed the cheating allegations in a 2020 episode of the Red Table Talk alongside Will, where she admitted to her relationship with August being an entanglement while she was temporarily separated from her husband. The relationship ended when August decided to break things off, as their entanglement began to affect his professional relationships and reputation. When she was promoting her memoir on Talk Shop Live, Jada made this statement: "I just need people to know I did not cheat on Will Smith, no matter how sad he looked on that table." She also added that once people read her book, they would understand the complication of her relationship with Will at that time. The whole drama didn't stop there. Willow, Will's daughter, also found herself in the spotlight when a photo surfaced of her at 13 years old, posing in bed with 20-year-old Hannah Montana star named Moises Arias. The image went viral, prompting criticism of Will and Jada's questionable style of parenting, with many fans feeling that Willow was too young for such a situation. But the couple defended their unconventional approach to parenting, emphasizing their trust in their children's ability to make their own choices. In addition, Jada addressed the viral photo of Willow with Moises, saying that it was innocent. There was nothing sexual about that picture or that situation. You guys are projecting your trash onto it, and you're acting like covert pedophiles, and that's not cool. Rumors also went around about a possible affair between Will and an actress named Margot Robbie, who worked together on the 2013 film titled Focus. Some reports stated that the two spent a reasonable and suspicious amount of time together on set, even missing the wrap party to hang out alone in Will's trailer. As the cheating rumors gained public attention, playful photos of the pair lifting their shirts in a photo booth came up again, further making it more interesting. Margot attempted to go against the rumor on X, stating that people were taking their innocent fun on set and blowing it out of proportion. While the speculation lingered, Will has never publicly addressed the cheating allegations, even after reuniting with Robbie in 2016 for another movie set. Furthermore, a Ukrainian prankster brought up another controversy for Will during the premiere of Men in Black 3 in 2012. While he was speaking with reporters, Vitaly Sedyuk attempted to give him a kiss without permission. The reaction was similar to what he did to Chris as he slapped the reporter, and they caught the drama on camera. He shouted, "Come on, man! What is your problem, buddy?" When he continued his press tour for the film, he had no choice but to address the incident with the next reporter, saying, "Sorry I said that on camera." Apart from all of these public issues, he has also faced long-standing rumors about his connection to the Church of Scientology, though he has always denied being a member. In 2007, he made headlines when he donated $122,500 to a lot of organizations linked to the church. Then, in 2009, he and Jada started their own school, New Village Leadership Academy, which was rumored to have suspicious teachings which are related to Scientology, further adding fuel to the speculation about their connection to the controversial organization. In 2017, a former Scientologist named Leah Remini said in an interview that Jada had been involved with Scientology for a long time. "I never saw Will there, but I saw Jada at the Celebrity Center. They opened up a Scientology school and have since closed it. But Jada, I had seen her at the Scientology Celebrity Center all the time." However, Will and Jada denied these claims, stating, "Let's clear up some rumors just to have it on record. We've never been Scientologists. We've never been swingers." To add to the list of controversies, Will's relationship with Janet Hubert, who played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was highlighted during their time together from 1990 to 1993. Tensions came out during the third season, which led to Janet's withdrawal from the show. After she left, Will told others that she was difficult to work with, which he acknowledged had a negative impact on her career, making it difficult for her to secure significant acting roles. During the 2020 show named Fresh Prince Reunion Show, Janet explained that personal issues, including her pregnancy, contributed to the tension between her and Will. But later on, their feud appeared to get to a resolution after they apologized to each other and mended their relationship. Another one that happened when Will was just 20 years old was when he faced legal trouble after being connected to an assault case. The media reported that he spent a night in a jail cell in West Philadelphia, which followed an incident involving record promoter William Hendricks, who got assaulted and nearly lost sight in one eye. According to police reports cited by a magazine, he allegedly instructed his bodyguard, Charles Alston, to attack William, and the assault left him with a fractured left eye orbit that required 6 stitches. Sources revealed that Will was deeply concerned by the arrest, describing it as the worst night of his life. Adding to his discomfort, he also found it difficult to sleep in the cell because other inmates kept asking him for autographs. Thankfully, the charges against him, which included aggravated assault, criminal conspiracy, recklessly endangering another person, and simple assault, were all dismissed. What do you think about what Chris exposed about Will? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new video drops.